We are deeply, intensely, almost hopelessly obsessed with the concept of the quantum leap. We spend so much of our lives constantly waiting for the perfect burst of sudden, life-altering inspiration to strike us out of nowhere. We demand massive lifestyle overhauls and monumental shifts from ourselves overnight. We have mistakenly believed that absolute disruption is the only true path to meaningful, lasting change. But these massive, unsustainable goals, they always lead straight to massive burnout. The real, undeniable secret to actual, irreversible human progress isn't doing more. It is choosing consciously to do remarkably less, but never, ever stopping. Let us look closely at the modern myth of the grand overhaul. When we finally decide to improve our lives, our default human instinct is complication. We build intricate tracking systems, plan extreme diets, and promise to sleep 4 hours less. We try to completely rewrite our daily routines overnight, expecting immediate perfection from a system that isn't ready for it. This immediate, aggressive shift creates an intense, invisible, and agonizing psychological friction. Your primitive brain naturally treats sudden, drastic change as a direct threat to its safe survival. This biological threat response triggers a subtle, heavy, and paralyzing inner resistance that we label as procrastination. You are not failing out there because you completely lack willpower. You are failing because you are trying to move a giant mountain before you have ever mastered the basic, fundamental art of moving a single pebble. Now, let us consider the cold, hard, undeniable math of human consistency. If you commit to improving by just 1% every single day, by the time you reach the end of one single year, you will be significantly, undeniably better. Exactly 37 times better than when you first started out on day one. But look closely at the terrifying converse of this exact same mathematical formula. If you decline by just 1% each day, you do not stay the same. You slowly and quietly drift your habits almost entirely down to absolute zero. Real human progress is never a single grand dramatic event captured in the spotlight. It is simply the quiet, invisible, daily accumulation of micro-choices. How do we begin designing these truly minimalist, unbreakable habits? You must ruthlessly strip away the external noise around you until only the absolute baseline remains visible to you. Rule number 1. Drastically reduce the entry barrier. Do not force yourself to write a whole chapter. Simply sit down and write one single, clean, honest sentence. Rule number 2. Drastically reduce the time commitment. Do not demand a grueling, intense 1-hour workout today. Just commit to moving your physical body for 5 small, manageable minutes. Rule number 3. Focus entirely on the daily streak. Never allow yourself to focus on the overall scale of the project or the daunting distance of the final finish line. The ultimate objective here is never short-term perfection. The ultimate objective is a fundamental, permanent shift in your core identity. When you make a habit remarkably and beautifully small, it becomes practically impossible for your brain to create an excuse to say no. By doing this, you completely remove the fragile reliance on motivation. You no longer need to feel inspired or energized to act. You simply become the kind of person who shows up every single day, regardless of the circumstances. One tiny, seemingly insignificant choice builds directly upon the next. At first, the actual results are completely invisible to the eye. You might feel like your tiny daily efforts are entirely wasted. You might feel deeply tempted to quit and return to your old, comfortable, predictable ways. But consistency is quietly storing up immense potential energy over time. It is exactly like heating an ice cube from 20 degrees up to freezing. The temperature rises slowly from 21 to 22 to 23 degrees. Absolutely nothing seems to be changing on the outside. Then, you hit 32 degrees. And it suddenly melts. The breakthrough was not caused by that one final degree. It was caused by all the silent degrees that came before. Your effort was never wasted. It was simply being stored in the system. Life is inherently complicated, but growth is simpler than you think. Stop trying to take impossible, exhausting quantum leaps forward. Just focus entirely on your very next 1%.